Hello, this is Japanese Economic Review Channel. Today we analyze the March 2026 labor force survey. The central theme is the structural shift toward regular employment amid a tightening labor force. We will unpack the data to reveal the dynamic transformation of Japan's economy beyond the surface numbers. Our macro dashboard reveals a paradox. Employment reached 67.73 million, growing for 2 consecutive months. Simultaneously, unemployment increased to 1.94 million, an 8-month rising streak. This concurrent growth highlights a dynamic labor market, driven by positive mobility, not recessionary distress. While total employment grew by 30,000, the number of employees surged by 80,000, reaching 61.46 million. This marks 49 consecutive months of growth. The gap between these figures is explained by a continuous, structural drop in self-employed and family workers, which fell by 70,000. The workforce expansion is entirely driven by women. Female employment increased by 110,000 to 30.97 million. This perfectly offsets the 80,000 decline in male employment. Women's continuous market entry is currently the primary engine reshaping Japan's labor demographics. We are witnessing a massive structural upgrade in job quality. Regular employment surged by 250,000, marking 29 months of uninterrupted growth. Conversely, non-regular employment dropped by 210,000. The non-regular share has fallen to 36.7%, reflecting a strong push for stable talent retention. Breaking down the 21.3 million non-regular workers, part-time roles drove the contraction, dropping by 150,000. Contract and dispatch workers also declined. Interestingly, arubaito, or casual work, was the only segment to grow, adding 70,000 jobs, indicating a selective shift in flexible labor demand. Labor is migrating dynamically across sectors. Accommodation and food services absorbed 250,000 workers, while IT added 140,000. Conversely, medical and welfare sectors lost 170,000, and manufacturing shed 120,000. This rotation highlights how structural shifts are actively redistributing human capital. Labor force participation is operating at peak density. The employment rate for the core 20 to 69 demographic hit 81.4%. Notably, female participation in the 15 to 64 bracket jumped by 0.8 points to 74.8%. Japan's labor reserves are tightening to historic extremes as participation maximizes. Returning to unemployment, raw volume is steadily rising, reaching 1.94 million. Yet, the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate remains remarkably low at 2.7%. To understand this creeping volume without a spiking rate, we must look at the underlying motivations of those seeking jobs. The rise in unemployment is actually a positive signal. Voluntary quits increased by 50,000, and new job seekers rose by 110,000. Involuntary layoffs accounted for only a fraction. This frictional unemployment proves workers feel confident enough to leave jobs for better opportunities. This market confidence is broad-based. Unemployment increases are visible across almost all prime age categories for both men and women. For instance, the 25 to 34 bracket saw significant increases. This reinforces the narrative of active mobility and career transitioning across the board. Japan is relentlessly mobilizing its inactive population. The out-of-labor force pool shrank by 360,000 to 39.83 million. This marks an astounding 49 consecutive months of continuous decline. The available reserve labor pool is being depleted, signaling extreme future tightness in labor supply. While year-over-year trends show structural upgrades, the real-time, seasonally adjusted month-over-month data shows a slight cooling. Employment dipped by 120,000 from last month, while unemployment ticked up by 10,000. This suggests a stabilization in raw volume amidst broader qualitative shifts. Synthesizing the data, Japan's labor market has evolved beyond simple volume recovery. Total employment is stabilizing, but internal quality is skyrocketing as regular employment surges. Concurrently, rising unemployment represents dynamic mobility. We are in an era of dynamic quality rotation. In conclusion, 3 takeaways define March 2026. A sustained 29-month transition toward regular employment, female participation driving volume expansion, and frictional unemployment signaling deep market confidence. The next challenge is maximizing productivity within this highly mobilized workforce. Thank you for watching the Japanese Economic Review. We look forward to having you with us again.